Hello, wonderful people. Shaun Tucker here, coach, trainer, and the man behind the mic in the brand new podcast, How Are You Really Mum? With the fresh male perspective, this is a place where we will unveil the layers and celebrate the woman behind motherhood. In How Are You Really Mum, we acknowledge the joys, the challenges, the growth, and the tears. I hope you enjoy the show. Hello and welcome back to another episode of the How Are You Really Mum podcast with me, Shaun Tucker. And I'm delighted because I'm here with an actual star. This lady, her name is Lourene Bevaart. And if you don't know her, she is the definition of an overachiever. She's an elite sports person. She actually won 5 karate world champions. She became the gladiator Glacier after winning the series 2 of the show. She was a personal trainer. Go back, I can edit that out. She was a personal trainer of choice for Russell Crowe and Shane Warne. She's a health and wellness entrepreneur. And Lourene has risen to become one of Australia's most driven and inspiring network marketers. She's also a survivor. So if you don't know about her story, she's overcome the impacts of depression, a broken marriage, and she built a business and a life that she loves now. She's a single mum to 2 daughters, and she takes pride in showing them what it means to be a strong, healthy, and independent woman. And whilst she's grateful for her personal success, she's actually most happy when she's helping others. And every day she supports people to escape the monotonous and the mediocre, to unlock their purpose, reclaim their power, and live a life of their choosing. So Lourene Bevaart, what an honor. And thank you so much for being here. Welcome to the show.
Yeah, no, it's great to be on.
I actually want to go back because, wow, overachiever is an understatement, I would say.
I must say, I just get a little bit teary when you read that out because there's some real sort of home chords. It hits home, right?
Yeah. I mean, who wrote your bio? It was probably you, right?
With some help with people,
Yeah.
people strings, right? But yeah, that's my story.
That's your story. And if you don't have an emotional response to it, I'd be worried, right? Because it's looking back at history and realizing, holy cow, that's what I went through.
Yeah.
And look at me now.
And I look back at it and I just, how did I do it? I was a single mum living on Centrelink payouts with a 1 and 3-year-old. And you just do it. All right. My girls are just thriving and
Yeah.
the land's passed on to them. And yeah, that's one message I really drive home is to be strong, independent woman. You don't want to rely on husband, boyfriend, partner to be happy.
Yeah.
Financially empowered. You want to be that yourself. And if anyone can nourish that and make you blossom more.
Well, you are certainly that and all of that. And we were just talking off air, like one of your daughters is now all the way over in Miami.
Yeah.
Right. And you're talking.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm all about that. Like so many people, like most people, my friends and family are saying, how do you do that? Like, are you going to miss it? So yeah, of course, miss it probably, but I've got to give her the wings. What is she going to do in Melbourne?
That's so true.
Well, I don't mean that in a nasty way, but you're going to go overseas, you're going to learn to travel, new cultures, new experience. You're going to be exposed to so much more. The personal development that she's just done in 7 weeks is immense. Even just, Mum, I've got to watch how much I spend, not just tap, tap, tap. Now, it's just, to me, it's going to be a huge education for her and make her blossom to be the woman that I hope she is grown into.
Yeah, isn't it interesting when you put someone or something in an environment where it's nurturing, and I know what you went through in your story, it sounds like it was almost the opposite of nurturing, right? But somewhere in you found a way to thrive, even though it was survival.
Well, I just knew it was up to me. no one was going to come and save me. Things to change, I had to change. And I didn't like the life I was living. So you've got to think, here I was, 5-time world karate champion, traveling with Russell Crowe, Shane Warne. Wow.
Yeah.
The life that was. And came back and got married and 2 beautiful girls. And all of a sudden I gave up who I was. I gave up my identity, my career to be the full-time carer, right? Which I love. And I know that's worked for so many people and it's been fantastic. But for me, it didn't, because when that marriage broke up, now what? He's still got his identity, his finances, his career. He is just soldiering on and doesn't have the responsibility to look after 2 kids and me.
So true.
That's
Yeah.
true. And then all of a sudden, I was like, hell, now what? Right? I
Yeah.
go back to, because I was a school teacher, it wasn't the answer. I wanted to be there for my kids. I wanted to experience every milestone, whether their first reading of the book or their first words or their first day at school, their first sport activity, their first dance lesson. I didn't want someone to go and pick them up and take them home. I didn't want them to daycare, even though I did like a couple of days a week.
Yeah.
I wanted to be the mum and experience that. So I needed to find something where I could basically choose my hours and my times. And I was doing a little bit of PTing.
Yep.
I had a couple of spin classes, but I remember grabbing the kids, chuck them in the car, or put them in the car, nappy bag in tow, driving the traffic, trying to find a car park, grab the kids, grab the nappy bag, get up the stairs, put them into the crèche, get into the class. And I'm already stressed. Whole procedure. I'm like, that didn't go as smoothly as that sometimes, crying that someone's just done their nappy or something's like, for 1 hour class for $50 and go home and do it all again in the afternoon. Are you kidding? Right, but that was survival mode. And I don't even know how I did it. I probably shouldn't say this. There were times where I left my kids at home by themselves because I knew it would be okay to quickly go and do that class or coach someone out in front of my front yard while they're inside. Because I was so desperate. That's survival.
Yeah. And
Saying that people would be disgusted. How dare you? They're the things you do when you've got to survive.
exactly. It comes back to desperation, doesn't it?
So I was saying no to things for the kids all the time, and I was saying no to things for me. But yet, on the outside looking in, people thought that I was okay. Lourene's a wonder woman. She's right. And I sort of just gave that persona out. But back home, I was a crumbling mess. And I know now, like I had postnatal depression big time, and somehow I just got out of that. Lots of steps.
What was it that shifted where, I don't know, it went from, because from what I'm hearing is, yes, there was a lot of desperation and survival, right? Like these 2 children are dependent on you to bring in money. You're a single parent. Like, what is going on in your mind that allowed you to see the light of day?
I think I'm a big believer, and I think that just came through my competition doing karate on the world stage. How
Yeah.
this mindset is. And I'm a believer in visualization and just asking the universe, right? Don't worry about the how, I need to change my life. I need to be able to do something from home. I need something, I just put it out there. And I was looking through magazines, I was just looking, and then something fell across my lap. I thought, maybe this is it.
Hey.
Yeah. I knew for things to change, I needed to change what I was saying to myself, what I was thinking, and what I was listening to.
Yeah.
Because that has a huge.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying. And you're right. Not focusing on the how, because that, I feel, and a lot of people will probably agree with me here, is that when you're focusing on the how, it's like your mind is trying to grasp the next step or the next step or the next 10 steps. But really, all you need to do is take the next step. And what you said earlier.
That's what you want.
Yeah. You first have to be clear.
Want to be clear, have clarity. But then how do I do that? Well, you've already just closed the door with that sort of mindset and that behavior and what you just said.
Yeah.
Instead of just painting the picture, just let the universe provide. And there's so many hints that are given to you on a daily basis that you need to intuitively listen to that.
Your next message is the one where you are right now.
Your gut is huge. Yes. And that's with relationships, business, everything. It's always telling you. You know, how often do you hear, just knew that. I knew I should have, I knew I shouldn't have.
Yeah. I absolutely agree. From what it sounds, it's that relationship with yourself. That's the one that kind of affects everything else in your life, right? It's the relationships outside of you. It's your business. It's the people that you have around you. But if you can't listen or trust the thing that's being said to you within yourself, well, you're never going to change, because we have this thing that when we become competent at something, when you're in business, when you have a career, there's this old saying of you rise to the level of your incompetence. And I've been thinking recently in the last few days, you also fall to the level of your unworthiness. So if you're suddenly in a role where it's like, I don't know who I am, I don't know if I'm competent enough, skilled enough to really do this well, your unworthiness, all those insecurities come up very quickly. And if you don't have a warrior mindset, which I love, the gladiator background that you have, because you're literally a warrior. Before even that, you were still a warrior.
Yeah. But don't feel like you need to be worried to change things.
No, that's exactly right. Yeah.
Because people could easily think, oh, yeah, but you were a gladiator. You were a world champion.
It started all before that, though, right? You had to have some sort of belief that things can change, or, self-determination, or just...
Yeah, I think like I have two parents who migrated from overseas to read in English. I go to Bonegilla in the migrant camp, and just the way that my dad went to Melbourne, found a job, found somewhere for my mum to live, provide the life that he did for mum and us. He had resilience right there, right? And I suppose just in his messaging, just 100% right, you just got to give everything a go. Everything you do has got to be 110%. Whatever for you. So just, I guess that's where it sort of started from.
Strong role model, your father.
Strong role model, yeah.
Yeah. Is he still around now?
Yeah, I said both my parents are 85.
Wow.
They're still here. And he's a very happy man because the Brisbane Lions won on the weekend. So, going hard Fitzroy supporters. So happy.
That's awesome. So, I mean, it does say a lot, right? Because our childhood and how, the role models that we have and the influences that we have when we're kids, it sets a lot of what we think about ourselves in stone.
Not even just kids, even now. So if you don't like the people, or the 5 main people that you're around, what they're doing, their habits, you're going to be the 6th person. So if you do not like the behaviors and the characters that they are doing, or whatever that could be, remove yourself or remove them.
Yeah. And so many people are just playing at the level where they're comfortable, right? Who they think they are.
I always say to my girls, just be careful who you're around. If they're party girls, if they're party boys, if they're vaping, if they're doing all these things, and they're all doing it, just remember, you're going to be number 6.
Yeah, because you just soak up the environment that you're around, correct? It's pretty simple.
It is. Yeah. So I said, find another group who have that influence and they want to do things that are driving, that want to achieve. Because if you want to be, if you just want to get somewhere in life, you have to be a little bit extraordinary. You have to be that 1%. You have to step out of your comfort zone. You don't want to do what everybody else is doing. That makes sense. If you succeed.
Well, they do say, and this is quoting Marianne Williamson, and I can't even remember what the book's called, but it was basically like a rewritten version of the Bible. And this lady, Marianne Williamson, actually channeled it, right? She just somehow wrote it out. And it was that we are not afraid of our darkness. We're actually afraid more so of our light. Because when we stand in our light, light shines on us, which means we are being seen. And that is freaking scary.
Yeah, some people don't like that. True.
And I mean, obviously you trained yourself, or let's just say when you were younger, you were on the world stage. A lot of eyeballs were on you. For a lot of people, I'm sure it's terrifyingly scary when the eyeballs come on them. I know that that was the case for me when I was even getting into being a business owner. Falling to that level of unworthiness when eyeballs are on you, if you're self-critical, which everyone is self-critical to a degree, if you're not able to continue pushing yourself maybe just 1% better every single day, you're going to fall down. And depending on the amount of time it takes to get back up again, that's probably really the determining factor whether you'll be successful at what you're doing or not. Is how quickly you get back up again and try again.
Oh, it's really interesting. I've never thought of it like that. So I always had belief that I would.
Yeah.
So yeah, I had my times where I was not winning or coming third or not winning the bouts I wanted. In my business now, there's lots of challenges thrown at me.
Mm-hmm.
Never ever I thought I'm going to give this up because I'm scared what other people think or the light's not on me. I just thought, okay, it's asking me, the universe, to level up, grow, personal development, to be that version I need to be to get to that level of success.
Yeah.
So what is that?
That is the kind of mindset that I see as so inspiring, honestly, because you've so much embodied that you don't even realize the power of it.
Yeah, true.
Right?
Like it's for me, I love the journey.
Yeah.
Sure, I've got goals and I'd love to be there tomorrow, right?
Yeah.
And that's what happens. A lot of people want these goals, whether it's health and wellness goals or whether it's fitness goals or whether it's business goals. And sometimes they want them tomorrow or
Yeah.
next week or next month. Well, unfortunately, the universe is going to let you know you are, there's a saying, your income or your success is at the level of personal development where you're at or that you've become.
Mm-hmm.
It's an saying or sentence around that. And it's so true. So
Yeah.
I work harder on myself than anything else. I make sure I do that personal development. I make sure I listen to that book or listen to that audible or read that book. And a great book that I like to listen on repeat is Change Your Paradigm, Change Your Habits by Bob Proctor.
Mm.
It talks about how your habits are compounded, right?
Yeah.
Compounded, and you don't even realize that you're doing it. It could be like you go to bed, what do? You scroll your phone. And before you know it, there's half an hour gone, right? Or the first thing you reach for in the morning is your phone.
Yep.
And that compounds. You do it all the time. You've got to be really aware of your thoughts and your actions to change that habit because it's not serving you.
Mm-hmm.
Then, so what are some other things that you could do to replace that behavior that's going to work on you or make your business or who you are better? Right? There's probably 2.5 hours where people could actually go and do some steps to help them lose that weight they've always wanted to do, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just things. That's a really good book. So it's Change Your Paradigm, Change Your Life, and just listen to it on repeat, and you'll pick up different things and different meanings all the time. And then all of a sudden, you become aware. You'll be doing something. It's like, I'm doing that again. How did that
And
just?
you'll only hear what you're ready for too, right? So your next message right now is where you are.
Where you're at. Yeah, don't compare yourself to other people. That's
It's a
not
dangerous trap.
especially if you're in your industry or someone, you may want to get healthier.
Mm.
May have already that you're comparing yourself to has been doing it their whole life, and you've just started it in the last 6 months. There's different chapters here. Just do your journey.
Yeah.
Be the best version you can, and you will get better. Be consistent, but don't do the comparison game because that can be deflating.
Yeah. I mean, something I'd love to ask and maybe for you to reflect on as well is something that I've noticed within mums and what they do for their kids is they always put themselves last. It's not because they don't believe that they're worthy of their own love. It's just when you have a child that's been birthed through you, and I can't really imagine what this is like because I never will experience it, but I can only observe, my wife, now we have a 7-month-old, right? This child is literally part of you for 9 months or thereabouts, depending on the length of the birth, right? And then all of a sudden, it's 100% dependent on you for its survival, right? So that in itself is probably a loss of identity, who you think you were before having a baby.
Everything, your self-confidence goes, your identity, you don't feel good about yourself, you're starting to put weight on.
Yeah.
Because you're the carer for everyone needs. Like, just whole, why am I always the one deciding what the family wants for dinner?
Yeah.
When I do that, then it's also lunch and breakfast. Like, if you think about it, like, you've got teenage daughters. Well, when they say, what's for dinner? I'll say, well, what is for dinner? Right? What are you cooking me? To me, like that, you're always giving. So it's a really good point that you bring up. And I know that a lot of women would feel so much better if they would just be a little bit selfish for themselves. And like just a simple walk, it's amazing how good that can make you feel emotionally, physically, that you've gone out and that you've done something for yourself. But I also want to ask the question, John, how many people are using that as an excuse?
Well, you're dead right on that. I believe there'd be so many people. Yeah.
Like, I would never do it again. Like, when I go out, probably the number one conversation that comes out is, what are you watching on Netflix? What series? And I can't get into that conversation because it's just a time waster. Right. Having said that, yes, I've watched the David Beckham documentary because it's short and sweet, get it done. But one of my friends said to me, Lourene, you've got to watch Queen of the South. We're talking about the cartel in Mexico and the drugs and how they're getting into Australia. And this conversation just, I don't know. Anyway, come to this show called Queen of the South. It's on Netflix. It's a 1 hour, 2 hour series, right?
Yeah.
Oh my God. It was like 7 series of 8 episodes or whatever it was. So addictive.
Yeah.
So addictive.
Yep.
Where I found myself sometimes on a Sunday or Saturday afternoon watching 4 hours in a row. Right? It's a great show.
Yeah.
I promised myself then I will never ever watch another Netflix series. Right? So what's the one they all rave about? The cowboy one. Which one's that one?
I'm not really sure. There's too many now.
Well,
But I actually want to bring it up to that point, right? Because in life, we're addicted. We are addicted. If you're not addicted to something, you are not living. And what I mean by that is you're most likely resting in peace right now in a coffin or however resting in peace means for you. If we're not waking up and doing something, right, it's compulsive. We are in these cycles that are just going and going and going.
Yeah.
And I'm glad you brought up habits, because habits are literally just a compulsion. The more you do them, the more easy they are to do.
Yeah.
So it's just a cycle that goes on and on and on. And a lot of people actually end up, and I'm just going to relate to this quickly and then jump from it. When they're in business, they get really good at business because they wake up and do the same thing over and over and over again, to the point where they actually don't know what they're doing anymore consciously. They're doing it, but without that level of involvement, if that makes sense. So they might get the success, but then they wake up one day and realize, what was all that for? Because they haven't actually been there, present with what's happening. But then the interesting thing is, if we're not addicted to something, it means we're actually not really there at all. And the more addictive something is, the less we're actually there, which is ironic, because when you're watching a TV show, do you really remember or recall what happened throughout the whole series? Or do you just remember the key parts? Or is it just like you're embanking all these memories?
I thought, right? Because that's just, I'll never come back.
100%. But I really want to make the point here is like, understand that your life can be better if you just get addicted to something that is better for you.
So it's coming back to purpose, right? Passion.
Yeah. Get addicted to your purpose. There you go.
I find interesting because obviously I talk to a lot of women on a daily basis. And let me ask this question.
Yeah.
Whatever it was at the start of the year, whether it was your New Year's resolution or the 1st of January or the 1st of February, what goals did you set out to do? Whether it's health, fitness, business, relationships. And I want to ask, today, on the 30th of September, have you moved that needle? Are you in exactly the same place as you were back in January and February? What about this time last year? Are you in exactly the same place? Because 9 out of 10 people will be.
Yeah.
Because they've fallen back into those old habits. And another thing is, a lot of people think they're going to live forever.
Yep.
So the life expectancy, average life expectancy for the Western woman, I think, is 82, might have gone to 86 now. So get a snakes and ladder board, number 1 to 100, cross out how many years you've lived, right? So let's say 50, okay? 50 to 82, you've got how many years left? 30 years. How many of those are good years? Holiday you haven't taken, go and take it.
Yeah.
Right? That dream or that job or that, what do you want to go and do it? That marathon that you want to run, go and do it. Because what guarantees that you won't do it? You probably won't do it at all if you don't start planning, because you think you've got plenty of time.
Yeah.
You know,
Why do you think people are waiting?
they're
Waiting to do.
because they think they're going to live forever.
Yeah, there you go.
And the number one thing that people don't do to look after themselves is their health. That's the way you've got nothing. And it doesn't have to be hard. You don't have to go to the gym. You don't have to spend money on a personal trainer. You don't have to spend thousands of dollars in crazy diets. As you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have this odd idea of what it takes to actually get what we want. It's either too far away or...
I think everyone's that instant gratification.
Yeah.
Honestly, you could start to feel such a big difference within 7 days if you start to do some simple things. And because you've started it and you can feel the difference, it sort of just becomes a new habit, and you love it, and off you go.
Yeah. Yeah. I totally agree with you. That's how I got into my own fitness journey when I was very overweight and very, very low self-esteem and self-confidence and things like that. It took a lot of alcohol and blacking out to make me realize that I didn't want to live that path anymore. And that happened 13 years ago.
Yeah. Wow.
And my life changed because I didn't want to feel as sick or have that kind of near-death feeling ever again. And it was something like that. It took me to wake up.
Yeah, and that's what happens sometimes, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You take what you have for granted until something happens.
Yeah. Yeah, that woman at home who, you probably need to find just a little bit of time for yourself. And that might be like, get up a little bit early or go to bed later or at lunchtime. You can do it. You just have to plan it.
Yeah.
And advertise it and schedule it and stick to it. And it doesn't have to be an hour. It can be just 20 minutes even. Like, people always say, I don't want to go to the gym. I said, well, go to YouTube and say I want to do 20-minute arm workout because I'm sick of these tuck-shop arms. No weights, or I've got a band, I've got a dumbbell. What can I do? It'll come up for you. I'm a beginner. I'm intermediate. I'm advanced. Hey, there it is. Do it.
And now you have ChatGPT to assist you even more, right? So this is the framework that I have. This is what I have. I have 5 minutes. I have this equipment. Write me up a short plan that I can do.
I've done that, right? So, right, I've got 40 minutes. When I go to the gym, I do leg workouts, and I just want to use the barbell. Go. I'm done. Go in, do it. So you don't have to think, it's planned for me already.
Yeah, it makes me wonder. I mean, from what I'm hearing is that it's not even really, it is a growth mindset. It's certainly not a fixed mindset, but actually it's an ever adopting, changing mindset. That's what it feels like you've adopted so well in your being. If you're given something, challenge, you see it as a challenge, an obstacle, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Or maybe it's just a mundane routine.
Well, I don't know. I feel like it's good to be in a hustle, busy, because if you've got nothing to do and you're bored, you've got more time to think negatively, I suppose.
Yeah.
I love what I do. I love going for my walks. I love listening to an Audible or a podcast. I'm just trying to be the best version of myself. And I want to myself because now I'm getting myself ready for when I'm 70s and my 80s. I know it sounds bizarre, but that's going to become around so quick.
Yeah.
Like if you think about where was the last year or 2 years, like 5 years gone, it's just gone like that. Because
Well, how many moments happened before this one?
I know, like crazy. Yeah, just in everything with my mind, with my network, I'm reaching out, going, because when you're at home and you're an introvert and you have an online business, you need to get out, right? Very conscious of getting out to business activities with like-minded people where I can grow and build new relationships. And so I grow and I have new friendships. That's really important as well, right?
Yeah.
Always trying to make myself better so that I can be educated and obviously teach other people how to be better. So if you're not into any personal development, that's a huge tip right there. When you're cooking or you're cleaning or driving, what inspires you? What stories are you listening to that I thought that was great? Oh, I can do that. I'm going to implement this because it makes a difference to your day and who you are and your purpose.
And I mean, so many people don't, it's either they don't know what they want or they do know what they want and they're not ready to accept or admit it yet.
Yeah, I think it's small mindset, right? Dream,
Yeah. Playing small,
playing small.
fall into that level of unworthiness.
Maybe some people are just happy the way it is.
Yeah. I don't know if I believe that. I reckon there's just too many distractions for them to actually be present with themselves and realize that their life is actually very miserable.
Yeah. Yeah, like it's lots of things that you need to look at where you can make yourself better. And find those groups of people, find those people who they are and hang around with them more.
But I'd love to ask you this question, going back to being a single mum, which you still are. You've still got two beautiful young daughters, but when they were even younger and you wanted a life that's different, like how did you find the time? How did you find the energy? Maybe it wasn't the time. What was it inside of you that was like, I just need to do it? Because you get the excuse, I'm tired.
Yeah, you do. I'm with all the hormonal changes and just very physical when they're young, right?
Yeah.
I was always big into routine. So my girls, they woke up a certain time, and I sort of taught them that too.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't let the baby rule me. I taught the baby how to sleep. I taught the baby when to eat, that type of thing. I always into a routine. So that helped from the start. So basically, very early on from 3 months, my kids slept from 7 p.m. till 7 a.m. And then they've got sleeps and naps throughout the day, right? So I just use those times productive, whether it's me having a nap.
Mm-hmm.
Always took them for a walk in the pram. They knew that schedule in the morning, had some dumbbells at home. So I did as much as I could. And the key here is to be in good shape or reasonable shape before you get pregnant.
Yeah.
I enjoyed the pregnancy. I wasn't working out like an idiot or mad person during pregnancy. Did my walks, cycle classes. I love being pregnant. So when you have given birth, your body remembers and you actually bounce back better than you were before being pregnant, if that makes sense.
Yeah. It's like prehabilitation. You want to train before you go in for your surgery, right?
Yeah.
You want to make sure that it just comes back more quickly.
So that's the key as well. And then nutrition's huge. Nutrition.
It's all preparation, right? Preparation.
Meal prep. I'm sure you've come across it. There's a lot of women, and probably men as well, who don't have enough protein.
Yeah.
Right? They want to lose weight and they cut back these calories, but, they'll have salads and great foods, but lacking the protein. So the first thing it does is your sugar cravings. One thing I love about protein, it makes you feel fuller for longer, and it does so much for you. So, there's just lots of different things that they could probably be implementing that can help lose the kilos, make them feel good about themselves. Go for a walk. Walking is so underrated.
Totally agree.
People think to go and do these HIIT classes, amazing cross-training workouts, which brings up the stress in the body anyway, the cortisol stress. Honestly, aim for 10,000 steps a day. If that's too much, 7,000 or 5,000, whatever it may be. And it doesn't always have to be at once. So this morning I went for a walk. Okay, I'm at 7,500 steps. Okay, at the moment I'm aiming for 15,000. I'm going to go and do a workout today, so I'll walk to the gym. So I'll hit that target, but I won't go to bed until it's done. right?
Yeah.
But whatever that is for you, but it is, 10,000 steps is just great to help lose that body weight. You feel good about yourself. It's good for your muscles, your mindset, and so much more. And you will just thrive. Get an accountability partner, meet someone for a walk, listen to a podcast. It's awesome.
Yeah. You're continually learning always,
Always.
but making the most of the moment really is what it sounds like, and understanding what you have, right? So resourcefulness is something that I like to think of when I'm, I don't know, running out of something, right? It's like, how can I do it differently? Maybe I can't do it the way that they're asking me to do it, but can I learn a different way? Like, let's say if I don't have the money for a personal trainer. Okay, well, we have all these other great tools that are free. Like you said, just jump on YouTube and type in, okay, 20-minute workout that's going to help my abs or something, right?
Yeah.
Boom, there you go. Just give it a shot.
Yeah.
But then what you said there as well is like, I feel like people want to punish themselves so much, and that's why they go and do a HIIT workout, not something that's, really kind and caring to their whole body and their mind. It's like, no, you've been a bad mum or whatever it is, so I'm just going to go smash myself in a HIIT class.
And not only that, like I really want to look after myself so I can still be moving.
Yeah.
Active, right? I don't want to have all these sore joints and sore back and have a walking frame and so forth. So for me, the key thing is to make sure that I look after my body. I've
Yeah.
done the battering with variety, all the kicks and things, but there was a time where I was doing cross training. Like, who needs to do 50 burpees, 50 box jumps, sprint around, come back? Who needs to do that? I don't. Why did I even do that? Because that was the messaging that you needed to do that, to lose weight and look good and feel fantastic. Crazy.
People still believe it though, right? And
It's changing slowly.
yeah.
If you do your walks, but resistance training is key as well. You've got to do resistance training,
Mm.
right? Whether that's Pilates, band work, weight training, whatever that may be, you have to do that. Because
Yeah.
I think from the age of 40, it's amazing how much you lose of muscle per year, and you do not want sarcopenia at all. Because if you fall in your 50s or 60s, if you break your hip, the recovery is huge.
Yeah, it sure is. And I don't know why I'm getting this now, but I don't know, it's something I've been thinking of recently and listening to podcasts, because I like listening to spiritual kind of things as well. But there's this understanding that life is actually preparation for death. The life journey is a preparation for death. And if you go through the death process very unconsciously, it's a very fearful process, right? So when you go to hospital or whatever, say you've got a broken hip and it's bad, like you're debilitating yourself. Your body's not able to operate it or work well. And then your mind's going to start separating and pulling away and thinking that it's fed all this negative bullcrap, essentially. So it's becoming more and more fearful, which when you get to that inevitable process that we're all going to die at some, we all have to. It's the life process. But if it's an unconscious process and there's so much fear, then you're just going to be suffering through that whole process. And it sounds like if you're not able to really invigorate your life with what you really care for, if it's health, if it's, family and all these things, then you're just welcoming more and more suffering. And suffering is a choice. We all go through pain, but suffering really is a choice. Whether it's made for you or made by you, it doesn't matter. It's still a choice. You can still have fun through or experience joy through pain. It's just seeing the light rather than the darkness. Yeah. Which kind of brings me to a point which I'd love to get to know more about for you as well, Lourene, and also your kids, because I mean, you're inspiring so many ladies out there. For the longest time, women have been suppressed, right? And it's only now that it's becoming more and more apparent that women can go and achieve so many things. And you're certainly one of those ladies who has achieved so many things. But secondly, now you're setting up the next generation, right? And your kids, now one of them's over in Miami doing what she loves to do. And you said, off air, in 7 weeks, she's changed so much. She's become so much better in who she is.
Yeah, growing into giving her the wings, and now just to watch her blossom, it's going to, it's exciting. You want that. You want a strong, independent woman.
Yeah.
Rely on anyone for her happiness or for her finances. She needs to go and do that herself. You need to be happy on your own. You need to be happy if you find a partner who makes you a better person. Brilliant. But don't forget who you are and love who you are. I'm big on that.
Yeah. How did you deal with the level of fear, right? I know it's probably trained and ingrained so much to manage it, but through your story and going through all the hardships and the challenges, I'm sure there was a heightened sense of fear in each and every battle.
I don't think I was scared of fear. Fear of what? Like, I wasn't.
That's it. I
I'm
love that you just said that.
like, no, that's not even in my DNA.
Wow.
To me, it's like, okay, I was depressed. I'd posted on depression. It's like, okay, what are the steps I need to take? I've done it before with my karate and traveling the world with Russell Crowe and Shane Warne. I can do this. I just need to refocus. I never thought I would fail. No, fear, no.
Yeah, that in itself, I mean, fearful parents raise fearful kids.
Fear of what, though?
Well, that's right, because it's not actually real. Danger and fear are not the same thing.
So if it's a fear of failure, but for me,
Fear
failure...
of success, fear of failure, fear of just, I don't know, what people will think about them. This,
one, right? Don't ever worry about what people think about you.
Yeah. It's an endless amounts of fear because it's only occurring in your head.
Yeah.
Right? And it sounds like you've been able to embody yourself fully. And that's probably from the examples and the role models that you've had through your life and the mentors and the people around you. And that's the example you're setting for your kids.
Yeah. And I think it's a really good point. Like, so mate, you can have like a room of 20 amazing people. If there's one person there that's toxic or wants to drag you down, it can have an effect on you, but you've got to learn to remove that or remove yourself from that. And don't let that enter your thoughts. Or it's just jealousy. Someone just wishes they had what you had, or lots of different things, right? Why do we have those people in our life, right? Why are they like...
Yeah. I mean, I feel like they're tests to see how strong you are.
Ask yourself, like, how are you talking to yourself?
Yeah. It comes back to self-awareness, right?
Yeah. Are you always talking about other people? Ask yourself these questions, because if you are, maybe we need to start thinking of how we can change that.
Yeah. What you put out is what you get back, right?
Right. And I always say to my girls, because sometimes they might say something to me and say, hey, if you ever got something positive to say, I don't want to hear it. Just check. Do you hear what you're saying? Where you get it from? That's not nice.
Yeah. I agree.
Just no.
Yeah.
If you go out for lunch and all of a sudden everyone's talking about some individual, I don't like that. Change the subject.
If you're seeding that, it grows and it duplicates.
It does. Yeah, absolutely.
It germinates more and more, right? And that's really the danger. So make it really practical for a second. If you have a little bit of black mold in your bathroom because there's a lot of moisture in the air, guess what? You leave it there for a day, come back in a week, it's multiplied. It's germinated maybe 10-fold or 100-fold. And if you don't take care of it, guess what? The whole bathroom is going to be covered and maybe even your whole house within a short amount of time.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't take much. It just takes one little bit of poison or one little bit of negativity to really spike your positivity.
It's like watching, I don't watch the news.
Yeah.
I watch the sport, right? The last 15 minutes and the weather. Because even if you're watching news, just stand back and watch the messaging and how negative it is. And the emotions it has on you. It's just horrible.
I agree.
Even on social media, I hate it when I come across something about the war or something. It's like, the way it makes you feel.
Mm.
So imagine if you are just encapsulated in that all the time, you start to give that as well.
Treat yourself as if you are the one taking care of yourself, as
Yeah.
someone you're taking care of, right? You wouldn't feed that to your kids, at
No.
least if you were conscious of it.
Yeah.
So don't do it to yourself.
That's
Well,
right.
Lourene, we're actually coming to the end of the podcast, but I want to ask you a question. And this is going to go back to the start of your motherhood journey, probably when you were still married and, bringing these two lives into the world. Knowing what you know now, going all the way back, what is a simple message that you could tell yourself? Knowing who you are now, knowing what you know now, what would you actually tell yourself for all those women who may be getting into it, or maybe for their own reflection as well?
Don't give up who you are. Set the boundaries. Have that discussion. You do not want to be the family slave. You don't want to be, I say this with love, but you don't want to be the mother. You don't want to be replacing your husband's mother.
Wow. You just gave me goosebumps when you said, don't give up who you are. That's profound.
That's true. Look after yourself. Just keep growing. You want to have your own purpose, passion. You want to have an amazing husband, partner that you both obviously support that.
Mm.
There's lots of, just don't give up who you are.
So interdependence.
Independence, because as much as I wish I still had a loving, beautiful marriage, and I
Yeah.
know one's out there, in most cases, a lot of marriages break up. All right. And
Yeah.
what if it does? If you got yourself ready for that, it sounds horrible, but it's a thought.
Yeah.
Have I got something for myself to fall back on? Do I have my own financial independence? What could I be doing that makes me grow, be fun of a community, and make our family grow? But what if? Imagine.
It's really simple, but so incredibly profound because,
And as sad as it is, it's so true.
yeah, so many people out there.
So many people just completely broken, have lost everything.
So dependent.
Yeah.
So dependent on the people around them, the systems around them. And if you want to change, you have to be the change.
Yeah.
Well, Lourene, thank you so much for being a guest on today's podcast. It's been immensely insightful, and I have no doubt that it's going to change so many people's lives about how they think about themselves and how they think about change as well. So I appreciate it so much. But before we go, I want to actually ask for our audience to know how they can connect with you. How's the best way to connect with you?
I'm all on social media. That's just my name. I'm on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and LinkedIn. So yeah, look, definitely reach out to me. I've got some, great tips and ways I can help women.
She makes really powerful content, by the way. Just going to put it out there.
Yeah, love you to follow along for me to help you with some great tips. So
yeah, cool. I'll link everything in the show notes, all of your social media handles. And yeah, if you want to get in contact with Lourene, just follow her and send her a DM.
Yeah, perfect. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you having me on.
Awesome. Thanks, Lourene. And if you want to get Lourene back on the show, please let us know in the comments. But for now, go and have an amazing week, an amazing day, and we'll see you on the next episode. Take care. And that brings us to the end of today's episode. Thank you so much for joining us on this heartfelt journey. Just a reminder to please subscribe, tune in, and become part of our supportive community. Because mums, you're not alone, and the world really needs to know, how are you really, mum? See you next time. Bye for now.